Hi guys, it's Danielle with Northlawn Flower Farms. In today's video, I want to share with you how to space annuals in your cut flower garden. And you know, spacing annuals for cut flower production is different than when placing them in the landscape. We want to plant them closer together so we get more blooms in the space we have, and the blooms that we get are stronger, more upright, and produce an abundance of stems for us. So I know you might be used to reading the back of the seed packet or pulling that tag out if you're at the nursery and seeing, oh, my snapdragons need to be placed 18 inches apart. Well, while that might work out great in the landscape, it's not necessary to plant these things so far apart when it comes to flower production. We can really plant them a lot closer together and get better results that way. So there's about 5 common spacings, and of course there's tons and tons of annuals. I can't touch on all of them today, but in the description below I'm going to type out a list what annual is best for what spacing, and if I missed any, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'll be sure to help you. So let's just get started going from the smallest spacing to the largest. So smallest, I would say, is 6 by 6 inch spacing, and that's a spacing you're going to use for a plant that only gives you one bloom and takes up a small amount of space, such as an ornamental cabbage where you're growing it, you're cutting it, it's only giving you one head, and then you're disposing of that plant into the compost. 6 by 6 inching works really great for that. Now moving up to 9 by 9 inch spacing. That spacing works for a lot of annuals out there that don't get ginormous. And that's how I like to place my snapdragons, which I am going to be putting out into the rows today. Now, I like to use overwhelmingly a 12 by 12 inch spacing. We get a lot of rain here in Lancaster County, and I can't control that. And as you know, rain coming from above is sometimes not ideal when it comes to fungal diseases. So when I'm growing things like zinnias, Celosia, I'm placing them at a 12 by 12 inch spacing because I want that extra airflow around my plant. Now, if you don't get a lot of rain from above and you're relying completely on irrigation from below, you can probably put those things at a 9 by 9 inch spacing. Now, next up is a spacing that I also use a lot. It's 18 by 18 inch spacing. And this spacing is great for plants that get really big, produce a lot of bushy growth, and a lot of stems over the season. Things like your Cosmos, your Dara, your Ammi, your Bells of Ireland, all do great at an 18 by 18 inch spacing. And the last spacing I'll share with you is 18 to 24 inch spacing. And of course, that's for things like our branching sunflowers that get really big and they need that space to spread out. And unlike the branching sunflowers, remember, if you're growing single stem sunflowers, you can plant them as close to 6 inches apart. I would err on the 9 inches apart, but it really depends on how big you want the stem to be at the end of the day. If you want that stem to be small and the head to be small for something in particular, you can push it to as close together as a 6 by 6 inch spacing. Well, let's go out into the garden now and plant some snapdragons at 9 by 9 inches together. So we're out here working on a bed that's 48 inches wide, and I'm gonna bump the sides in 5 inches. That's going to give me 5 rows at about 9 inches each. Nice healthy root system. Alright, so you can see that one's starting at 5, so I need to count over 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you see I've already marked it here a little bit. That's where my next one's going to go. Now imagine if I would have listened to the seed packet, these guys would be 18 by 18 apart, and that's, as I said, not necessary. Alright, and we're just going to continue in this fashion and plant up this bed. Well guys, I got all the snapdragons planted into the garden and now I just have to water them in. Remember, we did this at a 9 by 9 inch spacing, which is a great spacing for growing snapdragons as cut flowers. And you know, if you're growing a cut flower garden for the first time ever, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel because I am here to cheer you on. Growing flowers from seed and cutting them and bringing them into the home or selling them is such a rewarding experience, and I want to share any tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, and I sure would love to see your cut flower gardens at the end of this season. Well, until next time, happy gardening. Bye!